When you read Sir James Hardy's bio, it makes you feel like, honestly, a chronic, desperate underachiever. Two-time Olympic Games sailor, skippered 3 America's Cup challenges. He was appointed chairman of Hardy's Wines in 1981, has been an executive director from 1992. He is, of course, also the great-great-grandson of Hardy's founder, Thomas Hardy. Please welcome Sir James Hardy.
Thank you very much for your very warm welcome, and it is a thrill. Michael East is absolutely right. Our old company, I joined the company as a sales rep or sales inside to start with in 1953 in our centenary year, and lasted there until 2003 when Constellation New York bought the company. But I've remained a consultant to the old company, and so I go out to the office and see Michael and his team out there at least a couple of times a month, once a week if I'm a good boy. But the sponsorship with the Australian cricket is just fantastic. And to me, to think we've got 3 bowlers here, my only history really in playing the game was during Hitler's war. I was practicing on our tennis court at Seacliff bowling, and I had a wooden wine crate up against the wall of the house, which was one end of the tennis court, and I'm bowling this cricket ball trying to hit this Hardy's Wines crate. And I was at the time during Hitler's war at the Brighton Public School, and I'd become a magician, and I was raising funds for the school's patriotic fund, and I'd got to the stage where I'd actually capable of taking a rabbit out of a hat, and it's not all that hard when you know how it's done, but I'm not a very tall guy, 12 or 13 or something, and so I had a very small white rabbit and a hutch on the tennis court in the corner, and the rabbit's over here somewhere eating, and I bowled this particular red ball. I love that description of cricket, the red ball game. I bowled this red ball. The rabbit took off and came across. You wouldn't believe I hit him fair square in the back of the scone. Down he went, and I gave him some brandy, but he got really stiff. And so that was sort of the end of my cricketing days. But when I joined Hardy's in 1953, the West Indian cricket team, 60-61 I think from memory, came to Adelaide, and I got to know them pretty well. And I was saying to Mike McKenna earlier, if I was to name on one hand 5 of the most memorable men I've ever met, Frank Worrell, now later Sir Frank Worrell, the late Sir Frank Worrell, he was on those 5 people. And I got to know him really well in Adelaide, and to me the thing that absolutely stuck in my mind was his leadership, that his team, this team from, we were saying earlier, I was mentioning to Michael, disparate sort of islands in the West Indies, different cultures in different islands, but the team, literally you could just sense they would go over swollen rivers and broken glass for the captain. And to me, that really stuck in my mind. And to watch Worrell fielding it, I used to call it stupid mid-on or stupid mid-off, who would field there, and every now and again the batsman would hit this ball straight at it, and Worrell would take it off the ground and throw it back to the bowler or to one of the other team members. And his hand must have been, whether it split or not, I'm not sure, but not a glimpse of discomfort, just back to the bowler. And I thought, that's amazing. But on the bowling side of things, the others, I'm pretty sure it was Eric Freeman in 1960-61, and I'm pretty sure he was a fast bowler, but I remember making a presentation to Eric in Adelaide during that series of a magnum of our sparkling wine, bottle fermented, Thomas Hardy, and he was my great-grandfather. You could drop the second great, but my great-grandfather, I'm the 4th generation, Bill's the 5th generation, and Eric Freeman, and I remember doing that, but that series, it had a drawn match, and believe me, people think cricket can't be exciting. Sitting from tee till stumps at the Adelaide Oval, and seeing Slasher Mackay one end of the pitch, and Klein, was it Lindsay Klein? Or Klein, the slow bowler, sustaining the last wicket for that period of time, and Mackay was taking balls down his body from Worrell's team of fast bowlers. It was absolutely sit on the edge of your chair for the rest of that match. And before I declare this, I'm to declare the sponsorship, aren't I? Well, before I declare that, I said to Chris Nunn, I think, was it earlier, the late Freddie Truman gave a talk one day, guys, and I was at the lunch or wherever, dinner or whatever it was, and Freddie Truman said, why is it that all the batsmen get knighted? He said, Sir Leonard Hutton and Sir Nodal Bradman and Garfield Sobers or something, he said the last bowler that got knighted was Sir Francis Drake. And so I'm that thrilled to be with bowlers today, because they're the guys that can make or break this whole thing. And Michael, I'd just like to say the company is thrilled to bits to be now genuinely with the Australian cricket, and I wish you, with our sponsorship, all the good fortune, not luck, the skill in the 3 years and hopefully longer that we are the sponsors. All the very best.